Hey folks, welcome back to the Portable Gamer. Welcome back to American Truck Simulator. And welcome to Salina. The debate continues. We are in Utah, just south of Salt Lake City. We're going to go pick up a cargo and we're going to take it to, well, ultimately it's going to Yuma, Arizona. But this is going to take us through Cedar City and St. George, the last two cities that we need to cross off our list. So we'll get this fired up. Good to go there. Get rid of this because we have SatNav in dash. All right, we're good to go. I think we are. Put her in gear. Brakes is off. Here we go. How's everybody doing? We made it. We made it through 2019. We made it through the holidays. We are good to go. Friday for me. It's Saturday for you. And yeah, I posted a racing video yesterday. Let me know what you think of that. I mean, by now, as you're seeing this, I will have seen what the response was. We're going to bring racing to the channel. I have to. I've always wanted to, and it's been frustrating for me to try to figure out how to make it interesting. I know there's a couple people that make it very interesting, but man, their skills, you know what I'm saying? Their skills are unbelievable. And at the moment, I don't have those skills. Not just driving the car, but making the race itself interesting as a video. It's tricky. You wouldn't think because racing is so exciting, but it's a little bit like, well, it's like a lot of things. It's very exciting to do. It's not necessarily exciting to watch. So I'm trying to make it exciting and interesting to watch. For you as well. So we will, I mean, I got to do it at some point. I got to do it at some point with the new system. I have no excuse not to. So we are going to have racing on the channel. We're going to have flight sim on the channel. At the very least, we're going to have DCS. I also have Rise of Flight United, which is a World War I simulator. There's a couple problems that I have with it. It's really the only World War I flight sim. So, you know what I'm saying? It is its own genre. It's I don't know. It's one of those sims that I was waiting to try on the new system, and then I tried it on the new system and I jacked everything to ultra, and it's like, oh, it really doesn't look very much different. And like DCS in the P-51 Mustang, so DCS, Digital Combat Simulator, has plenty of modern jet aircraft. They're incredibly detailed, very, very cool. All the systems, I mean, everything is, all the radar, the lock-on, the missiles, such as you have there, all of it is captured in just unbelievable detail. So you can do like cool, modern, contemporary jet things in it, but I prefer warbirds, so I went with the P-51, and of course, no radar. It's got a rear radar warning system, but it doesn't have like missiles and lock on and all the things that we're used to in modern jets. So if you want to find a plane to shoot down, you got to like find it. You have to like look for it with your eyes. So I think track IR is a necessity because you're constantly scanning everywhere, and even then still not quite used to the brakes in this truck. It's not I don't want to say arcade style because it sounds like I'm like putting down arcade style flight combat games, and I'm not, but it doesn't have that sort of run and gun style where you're just, you know, shooting down aircraft left and right. I've tried a couple training missions for gunnery, and you really are, like, it's difficult to even see other aircraft. And that's in DCS. So the point of all that is, in Rise of Flight United, it's the same thing. You're manually looking around for aircraft, but in this case, they're going like 65 miles an hour. It seems to be a very accurate World War I airplane combat sim. Right? Like it's ticking all the boxes. But I don't know that is something that is really ever going to be interesting to watch. Honestly, I wouldn't say that it's not interesting to do, but I mean, it is. There's a reason there's only one World War I flight combat simulator. It's a big ask. So that is the other one. X-Plane, yeah, I really want to try X-Plane. The thing about flight sim, though, and I've been watching other YouTubers and their flight sims, I feel like it's the difference between, well, think of it like this. You got a race sim where you're driving a car and you're sort of doing something. You know what I mean? You're in a race, you're competing. And you contrast that to just driving a car. So there are combat flight sims.
Here we are, safe and sound.
There are several good ones. And then there's something like X-Plane, which is it's a super cool sim. It's amazing. However, it is first gear. It's mostly just flying. And I think initially, you know, as I'm sort of learning to fly in flight sim, I would be in small general aviation aircraft. You know, you got your Cessna 182, things like that. And those aren't, they're cool, but I guess there's not a lot to them. So we'll get down to neutral here. We'll set the brake. And we are hauling. Once again, we've got our cargo container trailer, and it seems like all we ever get are power generators. It's like, that's all we haul. So yeah, this is going down to Yuma, but we're just going to take it through Cedar City, and we're going to stop in St. George today. Take the job. Yes, I will. So, brake is off. And getting a good gear here. And we want to... that's a little tight. So, my point, I guess, if I even have a point, is that X-Plane looks super fun to play, but I don't know if it would be super fun to watch. And, I mean, DCS is going to be tricky enough, but like I said, at least once we get through the training, then people are going to be shooting at us and that sort of thing. And that's a little bit more interesting than, you know, just take off and fly somewhere. And again, like the race videos, I've seen people make unbelievable flight videos of just flying, but man, there is, I don't know what I thought when I first decided let's make a YouTube gaming channel. I don't know what I thought. I mean, I know enough about life to know there are a lot of things that look easy till you try them, and I assumed this would be one of them, right? Like, it's not that easy, or everybody would be doing it. So I knew it wasn't like a piece of cake, but I had no idea how sort of subtle it is. You know, like it's like anything else. You gotta really, like, it's all about the details. So there are plenty of things that I see. All right, 3 swings today. Straighten her out. There are plenty of things that I see YouTubers do, and I think, oh yeah, I could do that. And then you try it, and it's like, oh, okay, it's a little bit harder than that. So I sort of expected that. But it's been just a great experience. Press the following key to load the trailer. Yes, we will. There we go. Ah, okay. That's a bigger generator. Perfect. That's what I was looking for. I did swap out the trailer. I don't know if you noticed. We had that sort of goosenecky, like 43 foot, 48 foot. I don't know. But I swapped to a different size, so they gave us a different size generator. Cool. That works. That's exactly what I was looking for. So we'll hop back in here. Right. Brake is off. Put her in gear. Here we go. Cedar City and St. George. So yeah, I'll figure it out. I want to figure it out, man. I like challenges. I like learning new things and figuring out how to do things. So if I can find a way to make X-Plane interesting, I want to do that. If I can find a way to make DCS and racing interesting, I want to do that. But for the new year, and that's why we're starting like immediately. I don't want any delay at all. We're going to bring racing to the channel straight away. In fact, tomorrow, Sunday, well, Sunday for you, but tomorrow, Saturday for me, I'm going to record the video that I posted for you yesterday of qualifying at Zolder. I'm going to post a video of that race. So wherever we did in the qualifying, wherever we ended up in the qualifying, we'll see. I'll probably just do like the last 5 laps of that race, and we'll go from there. I can tell you, Assetto Corsa Competizione, it is a rough start for that game, but it is now one of my favorite race sims. I think for GT3, for sports car racing, I don't think that there's anything that competes with it in the same way. Now, apparently iRacing used to have the Blancpain license, and then they lost it, they didn't renew it, they couldn't afford it, I don't know. But, concentrating. First gear here. Concentrating, still concentrating, everybody's turning, here we go. So yeah, iRacing had the Blancpain license and had a pretty solid, I guess, GT3 presence or GT3 aspect in the service, and they didn't renew, they didn't continue that Blancpain license, and it went to Kunos and 505 and became Assetto Corsa Competizione.
Turn right.
So that is, I don't know if ACC's multiplayer is ever going to compete with iRacing. I don't know if anybody's multiplayer could ever compete with iRacing as far as online racing. But for now, Assetto Corsa Competizione, it's just an amazing single-player experience. I haven't tried it multiplayer yet. I'm racing GT3, GTE, and iRacing, and that's enough for me for multiplayer. So Assetto Corsa Competizione is just going to be my single-player sports car. Sports car kind of thing, and it's amazing. It's a really, really good sim. I like the physics. Force feedback still needs a little bit of work, but I like the physics. The game is incredibly immersive. The AI is it's good, not great. It's good. It's really good. So yeah, there's just so many things to like about that sim, and I'm glad that they got it fixed and made it into what I think it can be, like, long term. So we got that going, but where I'm at right now and what I was trying to figure out, in fact, the video, in the title, right, like the card, I don't know, whatever, it's an AI test, and the AI can be adjusted between 80 and 100%, but I didn't know if 100% was max or if it was like over max, because I know a lot of other race sims AI goes to like 120. What does that mean? Like, is 100 the real lap times that the real drivers are turning? Or, you know what I mean? How's it all shake out? How's it work? So, I haven't tried 100 yet, but I wanted to try 95. And at 95% AI, I can turn a lap about 4/10 behind pole position. And I think with effort and focus and concentration and setup, I could probably take another 2 or 3 tenths off there and be, if not front row, at least like further up front. Because 4/10 back puts you in about 12th. So I'll experiment with that. But in the meantime, yeah, I think 95% is going to be a challenge. And I don't know what that video is going to look like. I don't know where we're going to end up, at the end of the race. Something that I've learned about real racing over the years. Real racing is more or less it's a contest to see who can focus the most and who can make the least mistakes. Because there's one ideal line around every track, around every circuit. There's one ideal line, and if you stay on that ideal line and you hit your brake markers just exactly perfect, and if you accelerate off the apex as early as possible, every single turn, every lap, your lap times will be within a tenth of a second or so of one another, in a perfect world. Ooh. Why are we stopping? What's happening? Oh, there's a great big bend up here. That's what's happening. So it's not quite spec racing. It's not quite procession racing. But you see what I mean? If everybody has the ideal setup and everybody stays on the ideal line and the cars are mostly balanced for power and performance, right, then everything will just be the same. And yet it's not. There are lead changes, there are all kinds of things happen. And what's happening is drivers are making mistakes. And I'm not, as I say that, I'm not like making fun of race drivers or anything. I don't mean it like that. But that's actually what's happening. A little tiny mistake here, a little tiny mistake there. Drive a little bit too hard, overheat your tires, right? There's 100 things that you can do wrong in any given lap. And as you do, you take off more than a tenth, right? You take off 2 or 3 tenths. And now you've lost a little time, you're slipping out of the draft of the car ahead of you, and it's just a cascade. So real racing, from one perspective, it's really just to see who can make the least mistakes. And the thing about AI is, it doesn't make mistakes unless you program them in there. But now, that's a very tricky thing, because if you just tell your AI, make a mistake, right, every X number of turns, every 5th turn, make a slight error, and then every 5th lap, make a large error, whatever, right? That's not really organic. And that's what I love about iRacing, is you're racing against people, and people actually do make mistakes. I certainly do. So when we talk about AI and how good it is or how aggressive it is, and you can watch the AI in Assetto Corsa Competizione, and you can watch the AI race itself, try to make passes and that sort of thing. But I don't know where the mistakes are coming from. I don't know if they're generated. I don't know if they're just sort of inevitable, in that the AI is built to overdrive the car a little bit. And as you overdrive the car, it's not that you make mistakes, but mistakes happen, right? Or you overheat the tires, or you use too much fuel, or any number of things can happen to cause problems. So I don't know how that's built in there, but I know I like the way the AI handles and performs. And I'll do my best in this 95% AI race that I do tomorrow. But I have to say, I'm really not sure what to expect. Because I feel like in the F1 franchise from Codemasters, I feel like every car has almost like a predetermined lap time. And there are cars that you are faster than, and there are cars that are faster than you. And so everything sorts out, typically in qualifying. And it's like F1. There's some procession racing. And then it's just a question of, there's some random failures, and I don't know. You can make moves on cars that are in front of you, but because F1 is so, you got the top 3, then you've got best of the rest. Well, if you're best of the rest, you're actually competing to be no lower than 7th position, I guess. So up front, we're going to have 2 Mercedes, 2 Ferrari, 2 Red Bull, and then everybody else is fighting for 7th. Your goal is to be 7th and no worse. But pit strategy and various other things, it does, I feel, very accurately capture what F1 is. And F1 is, honestly, it is some procession racing, and a lot of things are decided, in terms of finishing order, a lot of things are decided off the track. I think that's less the case in sports car racing. So we'll see how the race goes tomorrow. But I'm really looking forward to it. I am doing career mode, but my AI is set a little bit softer. And so I feel like my finishes are a little bit more, maybe not accurate. I would like things to be a little more challenging, and I'll bump the AI up for the next round of career mode. But for now, it's sort of set where it is. So those are 2 things, though, that we're definitely bringing to the channel. Where are we at? 19 minutes. We're in St. George. You just want to keep rolling? If we keep rolling, we're going to roll right out of Utah. Let's do it. You know what? Let's go to, let's see how far Las Vegas is. I think it's not going to be too awful far. Let's go to Vegas and see how our frame rate holds up. Yeah, we'll go another 10 minutes. I'm enjoying hanging out with you. You know I am. So yeah, that's it, man. I've been more money, more problems. I have been thinking about trying to figure out how to set up I've been trying to figure out how to set up a race rig for a while. Even when I was gaming exclusively on the laptop, I was still trying to figure out how to set it up. Now, I do have a great big monitor, but as far as what my race rig is going to look like, at the moment, I have an office chair. And I talked about this a while ago. I'll describe it again now. You can race in an office chair. The problem with my office chair is not only is it on wheels, but it also spins, as office chairs do. So I looked online and I found a bunch of solutions. People said, just take the wheels off, you bolt it to the floor, various things. And I thought, yeah, that's good. I like where your head's at, but my office chair also spins, and particularly with hard braking, because you really, God, in these games, you just have to brake so late and so aggressively. A long race will actually leave my leg, my calf, sore. Definitely feeling it. And I do work out a lot, so it's not like that. It's like that. Right through here. Oh, okay, it's right in front of us. So yeah, mash on the brake, and my chair is trying to spin the other way. So I came up with a perfect solution, I thought. I got a couple of ratchet straps down at my local Home Depot, and a couple of great big carabiners, really big because they have to fit around the arms of my office chair. And basically, I just lash my chair to the desk, and it's up pretty close, actually, because I do like to be close to a wheel when I'm racing. Go right here, down to first. How do we do? 62,000 pounds, not bad. And that's a perfect fix. And I don't know what it cost me, $20 for a couple of ratchet straps at Home Depot, Lowe's, wherever I got them. It's perfect. And it's not, I didn't have to drill anything. I didn't have to glue anything. It's, when I'm not racing, I just unclip those and fold them out of the way, and it's a good fix. But I would like to get a race rig. Now, here's the problem. I also really like that flight sim aspect. I want that flight sim life. And I don't know how to integrate the two. And so what I came up with is, because I have multiple video outs on the tower, finally, why don't I have, oh dear, what's going on here? Sir? What's this fella doing? Sir, you're making me nervous. Don't come back over. Don't. All right. And we are back in Arizona now. Fantastic. So that was Utah. That's the Utah DLC. So yeah, what I came up with was, what if I got a second desk and put it opposite to mine, right? Right, like behind my chair, essentially. And so now we've got one desk with one monitor and a flight setup with pedals. And then 180 degrees opposite to that, we have another desk with another monitor with the wheel and driving pedals. And I thought that just might work. That's just crazy enough to work, because then all I would need to do is spin my chair 180 degrees from one side to the other. You can get a desk, not too expensive. You can find a desk at Office Max for a couple $100. Flight stick and throttle, I need to get that anyway, and you can find a 32-inch monitor for, $99 if you don't want to go 4K and, bells and whistles and everything. So I think that could be, it sounds weird, but I think that could be the ideal setup, is where we actually have two monitors, monitor A, monitor B, 1 and 2, whatever. And when I sit down to game, I go into my desktop and select what monitor I want. activate that one, spin the chair to the appropriate side, and we are good to go. I think that ultimately will be less, oh dear, trailer stability. I think that will be easier and less brain strain and less, because with USB, if you're constantly plugging and unplugging and plugging and unplugging USB controllers, your system doesn't always put things in the right order, and sometimes it sees that, right, that's USB device 1, and the next time it's USB device 0, and it can just turn into a big mess. So I think that could be the way to do it. But all of that is with an eye to having a lot more racing and a lot more flight sim on the channel in 2020. So we'll go right through here. Speed limit is, we're in Nevada now. We crossed from Arizona into Nevada. So we're back to 75. And I think we will be passing through Las Vegas. Not too very long from now. Where are we at? 26 minutes. This could be perfect. This could work out just right. So, yep, that's the goal. That's the goal. And every time I get in a flight sim, I am just amazed at. Yep, there's the stratosphere. There's some type of police hovercraft. I don't know if you saw that. The texture for the wheels popped in very late, so it was floating. Every time I hop in a flight sim, I can't believe.
Then exit right.
Just I'm a very fortunate person, and I reflect on that all the time. They do want us to turn right here, so it looks like we're actually going to kind of go through Las Vegas. Did not plan this, but this is perfect. I'm curious what our frame rate does when we get into Las Vegas. Now, it's not nighttime, but there's still a lot of polys in Vegas. Get down here, first gear. Right out here. Good over here. And let us, I don't think it's going to take us right down the strip, like right through the center of town. It may, but we will, 27 minutes, we'll start looking immediately for a place to pull over. Well, we could just pull over to the side of the road and end the episode there. But I'll try to find a better place to pull over. Some kind of parking lot or something. So, yeah, it's, man, 2019, it flew by. It was, for the most part, it was a really good year for me. Not perfect, but, I don't mind that. I think it, you need a little balance. If things are too good for too long, I always start to wonder, you know what I mean? When's the other shoe going to drop? Right, here's a place to pull in. I think it's right there. Yeah. Entrance, yeah, it is right there. Okay. Cool. So we'll get pulled in here. We'll get flipped around. And I'll either take this the rest of the way to Yuma off camera, or we can pick it up next week. But for now, I don't think we need to sleep, because I just slept at the truck stop right before we got started. So I don't think we need to sleep. I think we can just pull right up here, and this will be a screenshot as well. Don't need that anymore. Don't need that anymore. So here we go. Get her down to neutral. Set the brake. Hop outside. And there you have it. Folks, thanks for stopping back to check out The Portable Gamer. Thanks for joining us for another episode of American Truck Simulator. We'll see you next time. Take care now.